Hello! Welcome back to Chewed Gum. Today is Tuesday, September 2nd. Please give us a call. We have lots of lines open, 720-619-2288, or use the web link that's in the description. I've been gone for a couple episodes, and I missed it so much. Hi, Taylor. Wait,
You're
I don't
muted.
hear you. Are you muted? And we're back.
Great way to start. You missed some fun callers, but like I'm sure we'll get some fun ones. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Last week we had like a lot of theists. A lot. Like we only had theist calls.
Oh my god, really? Okay, I want
well,
more
as in
theist
like we
calls.
only answered theist calls.
Oh wow, and you were able to like do the whole thing. I like when theists call and I don't get to like, oh geez. Sorry, I need to make my table a little more stable. I like when theists call because it's like just a different conversation than the one that I'm having like online and whatever all the time. But
yeah, it's a good time. And I tried to I sent out a little thingy on my story again, asking the Christians in my comments to come call. So I hope you guys come and call. That would be nice.
Oh, they never freaking do. They never do. What else has been going on? I literally, so in the time that I was offline, it was like a week's time where I was like truly like not checking anything. In that time, everyone thought Trump died and then also thought that he came back.
Yeah, I was having like a crash out today because they kept delaying like his announcement or whatever. And I kept like the more they delayed it, the more my anxiety was just like going crazy. I'm like, is this about to be like, is he about to be dead? Not about to be dead, but dead, and we're about to find out. But now he looked fine, so good for him.
So unfortunate, truly.
But yeah, a lot of people did have me convinced that that might be a thing, so nobody else get my hopes up like for a long time until like we know for sure, please. That was torture.
I love, okay, I know that I shouldn't, but I love a little conspiracy theory rabbit hole. So I loved all the people that were like, and this picture is from August 23rd. And if you look at his ankles and if you look at his hands, this is consistent with blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I love it. I'm like, I need to know.
It's funny because I hate them because they get my hopes up, but I get consumed by them. So like I watch one and then I'm like, no, stop this. Like just wait to see what happens. But yeah, it's a little more fun that way, honestly.
It's way more fun that way. And it's like, I don't know. It gives me some hope. And I mean, either way, I think we're kind of, I think there's like a 0% chance he makes it through all 4 years, if I'm being so honest.
Yeah, no, I think the same. I think that would be really kind of insane if he did.
I would be shocked. But then
because
we're going to have to deal with JD
he's
Vance.
Like oh yeah, I know. And I have a lot of feelings about that. But he's like the oldest, Donald Trump's like the oldest president we've ever had, like to date, right? Or no? Wait, or he's going to be if he like, I don't remember how old. I know Joe Biden was a little older than him, but like if he makes it to the end of the term, wouldn't he be the oldest?
The oldest?
Or am I tripping?
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like at a certain point, they're all just old fucking farts, and we got to get them out. We got to get them out.
Yeah. Preach it.
I'm so tired of it.
There needs to be an age limit.
There truly does. It's crazy. We have one call in right now, and we will take that one in just a second. But as a reminder for everyone, super chats of $5 or more, we will read at the end of the show. And make sure that you call in. We have so many shows where people want to call in and then the lines are busy and we don't get to take their calls. So today would be a great day if you've been holding on to some stuff that you wanted to call in and talk about. So yeah, the phone number's on the screen and in the description and all that good stuff. Okay, are you ready to take our first call?
I am.
Okay, we're going to pull in Matt, pronouns they, them, calling from Australia. Hi, Matt.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yep. Hello, Matt.
Yes, good. Hey.
So what did you want to talk about today?
Yeah, so I called about maybe 2 months ago when Alyssa wasn't there. So I just wanted to get your take on this as well. I talked to Arden and Taylor that day. So it's about, online dating where you're swiping and, when I see someone's trans, it's like there's no reason I shouldn't want to talk to them, but then I don't. And I kind of went through that with Arden, but just the demisexuality side of it of like, online dating doesn't work for me anyway. So, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
So, to clarify, you're saying when you're like swiping on apps and things, you don't really want to like talk to the people there because you're feeling like leaning towards demisexual, which is you need to have an emotional connection before you have any sort of like physical attraction, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like it's kind of that system doesn't work for me because a photo and a little bit of text, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's sort of, no matter what, dating is a numbers game. Like you have to just kind of cast a really wide net pretty much all the time. So the more dates that you go on, the more opportunity you have to see what kind of like of type works best for you. But I think, I don't know, part of me is also like, you don't have to be using dating apps. There's lots of other things that you can try. Like you can try doing something like that takes a little bit more time. Actually, even sorry, my brain is like still sort of loading, so I'm coming up with all of these things in like the craziest order. Have you ever tried any websites where there's a little bit more information, like something like and this is maybe an older suggestion, but because I haven't been on dating apps in a while, but like going on OkCupid or something like that, where there's a lot more information for you to sort of like get a read on the situation and see if there's potential for attraction?
No, I haven't. So yeah, okay, I'll look at that.
That could be a good idea. And also, one of the things that I think will always be underrated nowadays is just meeting people in person. Like I think it's going to be a different challenge for you because you're going to sort of have to be like learning how to fly the plane while you're building it vibes. Because sort of gauge if you're feeling attraction to this person. But I think that if you're doing something like one of the suggestions I've given people before is to really consider things that are hobbies or things that you enjoy and doing whatever like socializing correlates with that. Like if you are a person who's really into music, go to concerts, you have something in common with the people in the crowd. If you someone in the chat had mentioned that they met their wife at a convention for a fandom they both love. So even something like that, where there's already common ground. And so it makes it easier to approach people, but it also makes it easier to have conversation beyond the first approach and see if that also gives you a little bit more success too. But I think ultimately it's going to be a little bit of guess and check for you. And just doing your best to continue to put yourself out there. Because even for the people who are not demisexual, I think there are people where for the people dated and met in real life and not on an app, if I saw them on an app, I don't think that I would have like swiped right on them necessarily. But because I met them in person, it was a different experience. So I feel like maybe the tactic can be look at the profile, see if there's anything that's interesting to you, and just start the conversation and see where it leads. I think it's going to just be, you're going to just be casting a wider net than normal.
Okay, that makes sense to go onto the net.
Sorry, what was that about the net?
Oh, sorry,
what does it mean?
Made sense, and then you said about casting the wider net. That bit I didn't follow.
Yeah, so if you, when you're like, let's say you're fishing, if you cast a really small net into, this is like the craziest, I've never like really explained this analogy, and now I'm like, I can't believe I'm using a fishing analogy, Matt. This is crazy. But if you were to fish with a smaller net, you get what you get, and you hope that it's what you're looking for. If you're casting a really wide net, then you have a better opportunity, like ratio wise, to find someone that you're really interested in. So it's like if you're looking for your best fit partner, it wouldn't make sense to go on like 5 dates and be like, well, I didn't find them. But it makes more sense to go on like 25 dates, and maybe one of those is like, actually, I kind of liked them. And so you're casting a wider net. So you're just putting yourself out there to more people, in the hopes that brings in enough options and potential for you to be able to really like get to know someone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I think. I don't know. Taylor, do you have any thoughts?
Kind of the same thoughts of when, I think I might have said this last time Matt called, but you were saying that you don't know why I don't want to put words in your mouth. So can you remind me of what exactly you said about trans people and dating or something like that? Can you remind me of what you said?
Yep. So I think what Arden said was there's a what's the word? Conditioned transphobia, which I don't want to be there. So I see that, and I see I'm trans, and it shouldn't matter, but it does, so I don't even talk to them.
Okay. Well, one thing I just wanted to say, which, like, I feel like this is a very nuanced conversation that has a lot of, I don't know, complex things to it. But one thing I want to say is I grew up in a small town with very bigoted beliefs. So I had bigoted beliefs like as a teenager and in my early 20s. And I'll completely expose myself here, but I would be totally against dating like a bi man at that point because of ideas that I had in my head. And I thought that I willingly like chose this thing where I'm not attracted to them. That wasn't true. If you know what I mean. Like, and it takes a lot of like it takes a lot of like self-reflection of like, why, and I'm not saying you have to be attracted to anybody, but I just realized there were things that I thought were important and things that were not important anymore, or things that I actually felt completely neutral about, if that makes sense. And it's hard because I feel like you can't exactly tell people how to deconstruct that kind of stuff. But yeah, like you said, we are like conditioned to sometimes be attracted or not be attracted to things, and it's not even like our coming from ourselves because of what we're being told as we grow up.
Yeah. Like, what's me and what's what I've been taught.
Right. And I think it takes sometimes a lot of time and honestly, maybe even therapy to like get to the bottom of what you want, what you believe, who you are, because sometimes that can be hiding under a lot of stuff that you've been conditioned to think and believe.
Yeah.
But I know that's hard. And there's really no exact right way to do it.
Well, Matt, I hope that this is kind of helpful. I feel like the biggest piece of like overarching advice is to just put yourself out there as much as you can and just keep trying new things and new types of people and see where you land with it. Because even for people who are not demisexual and experience sexual attraction in like a more common way, there's been plenty of people where, like I said, when you meet them at first, you're sort of like, I don't know. It's sort of like, have you ever heard of people talking about camp goggles before? I think we talked about this maybe on a different episode.
No.
So camp goggles is like a silly thing where if you, and it happens a lot in like offices too, like in workplaces, but it's like sometimes you go to camp and you look around and you're like, not one of these people is cute. But then as the summer goes on, there's like one person who sort of like bubbles up to the surface and you're like, actually, I think that they're really cute. And it's like in life outside of camp, you might not have picked them out, but in the context of camp, or your office or whatever, you're able to like actually see some other facets to them, and you give them more of an opportunity to get to know them, and it gives you a different experience. So I kind of feel like even people have that experience all the time, and so I think you almost have to like put yourself in that experience and just try your best to get to know as many different kinds of people as you can.
Okay, I think that makes sense.
Okay, well, thank you so much for calling again, and keep us updated. Let us know if you try anything new or if there's anything that you give a try that like really doesn't work, because there are a lot of demisexual folks in the chat too. So if you end up trying something that does work well for you, call back and let us know. And if it doesn't, also call back and let us know.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, bye.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. That was nice. And we do have a fair amount of demisexual people in the chat. So Yeah, and actually, someone just put in the chat right now, you can't date authentically and also prevent yourself from being rejected and or injured. You need to put yourself out there and deal with uncomfortable emotions, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so true. Yeah. But it's definitely an interesting topic when it comes to, like, especially I realize with religion and conservative beliefs, it literally seeps into everything, like things that you're not realizing. And then when you like get older, you're like, wait, what do I really like? Like what like or why don't I like these certain things? Or why it's a very weird process to go through, but it's kind of hard to you can't really tell someone how to come to those conclusions or like how to go through that process. But I just feel like questioning a lot of those things is key, in my opinion.
Totally. And it's just going to take some time and putting yourself out there. Like, I think, like, I've had a fair amount of long-term boyfriends. Like, I'm a long-term relationship girl. I don't know how I keep finding myself in them, but I do. And but all of those relationships have taught me so much about like what I was looking for and what I was not looking for, so that by the time I got to my current partner, I was like, wow, okay, so this is actually everything I could have looked for, and I don't think I would have gotten there had I not. It's like you got to kiss a few frogs.
Right.
And then
Right.
And then you kind of figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. No, I completely agree.
Okay, so let's look at the schedule before we take another call. There's a lot going on at the line, y'all. The schedule is a little crazy town. We have tomorrow, the 3rd, the Hang Up with Matt and Mandisa Thomas at 6 p.m. On Thursday, TACIS at 2 p.m. with Arden and Luxander. And we also have Calling It Now, which is the new vertical format show, and that's at 5 p.m. With Jimmy and Arden. Then we have Cus I Wanna at 6 p.m. with John Gleason and Unquestionable Calvin. I hope that's right. I hope that that's not like a person named Calvin and then we're just like saying he's unquestionable. I don't know. Unsure. Sunday at 2 p.m. we have the Sunday show with John and Austin Archer. And at 7 p.m. the Sunday show After Dark with Forrest and Jovan. Am I saying his name right? Anyone?
Not sure.
Jovan? Maybe it's Jovan.
Jovan.
Okay. Well, someone will let me know. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And then on Monday, Skeptalk with Justin and Aaron, and then we're back with Chewed Gum. Woohoo! And that's our schedule. Everyone say good job to Alyssa, because that schedule is not easy to read.
Good job.
Yes, I feel like...
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good job, Alyssa. You did great.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. Okay, we have a Theist caller who wants to talk about incels, which is so interesting. So, are you down to take that call?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's pull in Andrew calling from New Jersey, my neighbor. Hi, Andrew.
How you doing?
Hi, Andrew.
How's it going?
It's going good. I basically wanted to call about why do incels, why do they get so much hate? I never understood why people hate them so much. Like, can y'all explain that to me?
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably because they a lot of times hate women and blame every single bad thing they experience on women, and it's also caused violence. Like, people have actually went out and offed people due to the incel culture and like message behind it.
So how come rappers don't get as much hate as incels then? I mean, like, you see women, they date, they'll date, like they'll date violent rappers all the time. They'll date bad dudes if they're extremely good looking. They don't care if the guy is terrible to them. So long as he's good looking, they don't really care. I noticed that about, some women. So why is it that they give a good pass? They give a pass to Yeah.
I think it's sort of like a two wrongs don't make a right situation. I don't think that those women should be dating people that are abusive towards them either. I do want to circle back to the incel conversation again, because I think a really important element with people who are describing themselves as incel is them describing themselves as being involuntarily celibate, which is immediately removing any responsibility for the situation that you may be in at that time. And that we're already off to sort of a rocky start. I'm a firm believer in people being able to take responsibility in pretty much all situations, and it gives you back the control. When people are labeling themselves as incels, they've relinquished the control completely. They've decided that I am not finding the intimacy in my life, but it has actually nothing to do with me, and it's everyone else's issue to fix. So I think that's also a part of the reason why there's resistance with incels. But it is also, like Taylor said, it's the culture around the incel community that is particularly violent towards women, because they're shifting the blame towards women. And I think across the board, women should not be dating violent people. No one should be dating violent people.
Well, to be fair, incels, they don't start off as violent, crazy people. You know, usually what women don't tell you is that they don't tell you that your genetics matter when it comes to dating. They don't tell you that you need to have a young, nice-looking face. They don't tell you that you need to have some hair. Most women don't like guys who are balding. They don't like guys who are short. They don't like guys who have a high percentage of body fat around
That's
the
all
face.
a lie.
They like
Sorry,
that's all a lie.
They like
Andrew. I can name people who are bald, and like Bruce Willis, gorgeous, bald. Peter Dinklage, short, gorgeous. People are obsessed with him. People who are overweight, let's see.
Including me.
Not for nothing. Not for nothing. I think Danny DeVito probably gets the most play out of fucking anyone in Hollywood. So I think that's sort of like the point is like you can if you want to take the approach of women are being too picky, they don't like a person because of the way that they look, you can do that all day long. But that's not going to change your situation. You're more likely to change your situation by having openness around the kind of relationships that you're going to want to form, being kind, showing your personality, and not showing up with a lot of defensiveness. Someone else said in the chat, Jack Black is beloved, and he is traditional, like in a traditional sense, not attractive, I guess, on paper. But I think anybody would be. I'd be down for Jack Black.
Yep.
Yeah, but these guys are high status multi-millionaires. Like if Jack Black was a regular like guy that works at, let's say, a supermarket or UPS or something, he's not going to get a lot of women. Like especially if like these guys, even these famous guys right now, you think they're going to get more girls than like some kind of K-pop young-looking guy with a youthful face that's really good-looking?
Andrew,
I don't think so. I think that. Yeah.
I have a question. Like, how often, when you see couples like out in the real world, how often do you see women who are more like conventionally attractive than their partner versus the opposite? Like, how often? Like, what are you seeing more of?
I see most people tend to date around, I guess, their looks level. Like, I don't see too many, like, for example, Alyssa.
So that made your whole point obsolete then. That made it, everything you said, a lie.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, because the women in their 30s, they tend to settle a lot more for, they're actually settling. Like, it's not that a lot of these women are attracted to these dudes. A lot of women will settle if they feel that they can't find nobody that's conventionally attractive. or they you know, they
If they're
want to have a
settling,
family.
if they're settling, why are you saying that they're not with any of these men, and why are there all these incels then? I'm
Because
confused. Like these two.
well, yeah, most guys are normies, so they don't look conventionally attractive, but they're not ugly. The guys that I'm talking about that are incels, we're talking about the butt ugly guys, the guys with the receding jawlines, the funny shaped skull heads, the dudes who are short and skinny with big heads. Like, we're talking about dudes who look so extremely ugly that no woman will really date them. Like, most people are normies; they look normal.
So,
but
Andrew, I also, as you're explaining this, I'm thinking about if and when the situations have been reversed, where there's been a woman who is not conventionally attractive and, you know, has something like a receding jawline, or however, I can't remember how you described it. Or there are women who have baldness as well, and we only call it male pattern baldness because that's the only way they'll study it, but women experience baldness as well. The thing that I think is interesting is women will take it upon themselves to, you know, for better or worse, spend a ton of money, a ton of time fixing what they think is broken to better suit whatever beauty standard. By contrast, incels are pretty committed to stomping their feet and blaming everybody else. Which I think is interesting and something to look at for sure. I think even I was thinking about this recently, and I it's not like a totally fair comparison. Like there's so much there, but I was thinking about how interesting it is that many times when I have this conversation, men will bring up balding, partially because like I've used it as a cheap shot and people get upset at that.
Yeah, but why do you use it as a cheap? Why do you use that?
Because when people are being disgusting towards me, I know it hurts their feelings. So that's why I say it. But
because it's not, but you know it's not attractive.
I don't care. I dated someone who was bald. I don't care if somebody's bald. The
More
people
like
who care
knows it
What does
bothers
his face
them.
look like? You can be bald, but what does his face look like?
Okay, Andrew. So here's my thing. So my point about bringing the baldness up is I started to think about how much it costs to do a hair transplant. And in the US, you could do a hair transplant for like $10,000-ish. And you would only have to do it once, maybe twice in your entire lifetime. The amount of money that women spend on their appearance every single year is insane. The amount of money that we spend on even just the same product that has pink tax on it, so like shaving, like razors and things that are more expensive when they're branded towards women than they are towards men. I'm thinking about it, I'm like, and they also get paid more. On average, there's a wage gap. So men are getting paid more for their time. They're spending less on their appearance year after year. And if the one thing that y'all are so upset about is the balding, get a hair transplant. Take all that money that you've saved and get a hair transplant. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but the problem is that you have women that will literally tell guys, oh, the reason why you can't get a girl is because of your personality. It's because you're just a big meanie head and you hate women. They don't never tell you that you got to look good. You got to look attractive. They always say, oh, it's personality,
That's because personality is what you're going to... Yeah, because personality is what you're going to have the relationship with. That's the thing that's going to, like, make or break a relationship. So yeah, obviously there are a lot of people out there who care more about personality than looks, or personality comes first. Or personality dictates who they're attracted to. That's exactly how I am. I literally am not attracted to people unless I like start talking to them and get to know them and like their personality. So have you ever thought that maybe more people are just built that way, or more women like it that way? Like, has that ever to you? Maybe that's why some of these incels should stop complaining and crying and throwing a fit and just invest some time into being a better person.
Yeah, no, they should do that. What I'm saying is they do like personality. Women do like personality, but what they don't tell you is we like personality on attractive looking guys. That's what women should start saying.
Yeah, but
when they say,
and are men
we,
any different? Are men any different? We've had our entire life is dictated by a beauty standard that men have created and perpetuated. So like I don't really feel that bad because women are also under a even more intense beauty standard. Like the fact that women, like if I go head to toe all of the things that I and other women do on a monthly basis to maintain a beauty standard compared to the things that men do. It's like I don't wake up and look like this. So it's insane to me to just say, well, women have to lower their standards about the way that people look. No, I don't think they should have to do that. Yeah. I think people are welcome to date whoever they would like, and if you are having a hard time dating, then maybe let's take a look at what you have control over. If you feel like there's something physically that you want to change, then by all means change it. I'm all for you doing whatever you would like to do. But what's also going to be tremendously impactful is working on yourself, your personality, and your mental health and all of these things. That's a huge thing as well. Look at the people who I keep thinking of who have gorgeous partners that are butt fucking ugly. Whether it's because they have money or status or whatever, they have money and status and whatever because they focused on themselves. They worked on their own shit. So like I think it's just, I think it's lazy to blame it on women not being physically attracted to a guy. It's like this whole like nice guy syndrome. It's like girls never want the nice guy, and I think that's just crap.
They don't want a nice guy.
That's come on,
no, well,
Andrew.
Nice guy.
They do want a nice guy, but they only want a nice guy who's physically attractive. They don't want the ugly or the normal looking nice guy. They want the attractive guy. That's nice.
You just said earlier girls end up with normies, whatever the hell that means. You just said that earlier.
Yeah, I said most people who look normal.
You just said people end up with people who are.
Yeah.
You just said that people end up with people like who look similar to them or whatever. So what is the issue here? If that's actually what you think, then there's not an issue.
No. They end up, most people, like I said, end up settling when women are young, like in their 20s, late teens, early 20s. They date the frat dudes. They date the party guys who are attractive. They date the athletes. They date the guys that are like that.
If by their 30s they start in your words, by their 30s they start settling, then Taylor said this before, then why are there incels then? If you're telling they're settling for normies and then the only ones are left are the butt ugly guys? Is this the theory?
Well, because most incel guys are very young guys. They're like guys in their 20s, 17, 18. They're not
but that's 17, 18 is insane. That's an insane age to be like, I'm involuntarily celibate. You're barely an adult. Crazy. You're barely an adult. Like that's crazy to call yourself an incel. You haven't even given yourself a shot. If that's the truth.
You don't
17, 18 years old.
You don't think incels go out? Yeah, but okay. Let me ask this right here, Alyssa. The men that you have dated, were they conventionally attractive?
To some people, yes. To other people, no. To other people, 100% no. One of the guys that I dated was bald and 5'2". And I dated him for over a year.
Face?
In my opinion, yes, but not. Face? In my opinion, yes, but I didn't. That's the point. In my opinion, yes, but there are other people who know him who would not think so. What attracted me to him was his personality. He was really funny, super easy to be around, was really considerate of me and my needs. He was really caring. He was great with my dogs, really patient. So I didn't care. But for some other people, there were parts of him, I guess, that would be deal breakers. You just have to find a good fit for you There is a good fit for everyone, but what's not going to get you there is by washing your hands of the responsibility and just saying, well, I'm an incel, and so women around me need to lower their standards. Because is that the solution, Andrew? Women need to lower their standards?
Yeah, what's your advice to incels in general to fix this problem?
Well, incels have been working on some things. You have their stories of them getting leg lengthening surgeries, they getting facial surgeries to fix their jaw or their whatever.
That's what you think is good advice for them? What is your advice?
No,
what's your advice?
No, I'm saying that when people say incels ain't doing nothing, that's not always true. Some incels are doing things to, enhance their looks and their features.
What you
or whatever.
just described are extreme things that have nothing to do with, like, that is not going to change anything for them. I promise you that. Getting
and also,
you said leg lengthening surgery? That's insane. Like, if that's not what they should be focusing on.
But Andrew, when you think of plastic surgery, the first thing that comes to your mind is all of the shit that women do. There are people who get their labia trimmed because they are so insecure about their literal vagina lips, their vulva lips. So there are women who get boob jobs, who get liposuction and nose jobs and lip filler, and they're dyeing their hair every month, and they're getting their nails done every month, and they're getting lash extensions, and they're getting facials. The amount of money we spend on skincare, and we spend on makeup, and we spend on clothes because we have to keep up with the stupid idiot trends. Haircuts are more expensive for women. We shave our whole fucking bodies like dolphins regularly. Waxing is insanely expensive. Laser hair removal is insanely expensive. It's like women are regularly jumping through the most insane hoops ever to look the way that we do because it's expected of us. So I don't, when we're talking about looks and we're talking about this community being upset that their looks are not being accepted, I think there's the lack of responsibility in that is appalling to me. You should be able to look at your situation and say, okay, what is within my control? Maybe I want to go to therapy and see if I can actually do some reflection and figure out actually what is within my control. What would make me a better partner? What would make me more magnetic to the people around me? Maybe I'll take up some new hobbies. Maybe I'll focus on my career for a little while and see if that gives me some satisfaction there too. The solution.
I think being charismatic. I think being charismatic, you have to be. I think you have to be born with that. You can't really be taught how to be charismatic. That has to come naturally. Like most incels, they're socially awkward like that due to the constant, with the comments that they get from women, especially when they're younger. You hear a lot of girls there be like, "Oh, he looked funny," or his hair shaped funny. That lowers the confidence in these men.
Yeah, but Andrew, I used to get called thunder thighs when I was in middle school. How do you think that worked out for me? Are you kidding?
Yeah,
women
Andrew,
are constantly
thunder thighs.
No, Andrew, in the early 2000s, it was not. It was not. Women get picked on for their bodies. Have you seen, like, in the early 2000s especially, it would be like Jessica Simpson is a literal size 6, which is my size, by the way. I'm a size 6. She was a size 6, and there were magazine covers plastered with her body saying that she was fat. Women are constantly criticized for their bodies. We're not allowed to have cellulite. Cellulite's completely normal. Are you joking? Come on.
I understand. No, I understand, but then how come women, when you talk to them, like I remember I was watching the whatever podcast, and the women the women they said, "Oh, we don't do this for men. We do this for."
That's your first problem, Andrew. I gotta tell you, that podcast. The hosts of that podcast are extremely dishonest. The things that their entire goal is to trap women and to make them
humiliate
look bad.
them.
Like, it's like, and that's their goal. Like, why would you want to take advice from people whose goal is to humiliate the people that go on their podcast? On top of that, I never understand how you called in and you're talking to women. So presumably the people that you're trying to attract. And we are literally telling you what we are looking for, what our priorities to us. And you're saying, but, and then you're going to take the advice of two guys. That doesn't make sense. Take the advice from the audience you're trying to reach. Doesn't that make more sense? Like, well, I never understand why guys would ask for dating advice from other guys. It's like specifically people that I don't know actually what the situation is for the whatever guys. But for like Andrew Tate is perpetually fucking single and people want to take advice from him on dating. Why? His rate is fucking 0.
I would agree of taking advice from women if they were consistent. I mean, women say they don't like all these bad guys and whatever. And you got hundreds of women showing up to support Luigi Mangione just because he's good looking.
Andrew,
Thing.
Andrew, I promise you that watching podcasts like the whatever show is literally poisoning your mind. But they're a great example of people who encourage this like incel type mentality that just view women as objects. Because what do they do at the beginning of their show? They go around and ask every girl to rate herself on a scale of 1 to 10. And then when she gives a number, they say, nope, you're actually uglier than that. And anytime I've interacted with someone who is an incel, they point out every small flaw possible they can with me. Flaws that I don't even think exist. And so, like, do you think maybe that's part of the problem? And on top of that, the whatever podcast brings in women that they think are the easiest to make fun of, the easiest to be like, oh, look, like, this is women for you. It's absolutely disgusting. They literally bring women on to humiliate them and humble them. And that encourages incel culture. And when let's say you are struggling with women, if you follow the advice of these men, you will stay single for the rest of your life. I can promise you that. And do you want to know why? Because they grift off of you. That is their plan. Their plan is to keep you single, keep you angry, because that is the only way you're going to continue to consume their content. You will not consume their content if you end up in a relationship with a woman that you really like and love, because then you're going to be like, holy shit, everything they said was bullshit. They're making shit up. Like, this is ridiculous. Or they're talking about a very small amount of women. Like, that's their entire grift.
Yeah, but how did Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, and all these guys get big in the first place? They got big
because of
for
the
a
men.
reason.
Their audiences are all men. Don't you think that's interesting, Andrew? Women are watching what Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, and the whatever podcast, they are watching what they are doing and have decided they don't want to participate in that because it's upsetting and it's degrading. But what I don't understand is then why are men watching it and taking that advice like that is a guide on how to be a good man when the women who are watching are saying it's not. Like, take the advice from the source.
I guess the reason why is because they try, and this is why guys, they move to Andrew Tate and them like this, because they have tried to listen to women advice when women was telling them how they want.
So they're going to listen to a sex trafficker instead. They're going to listen to somebody who has been charged with sex trafficking instead. That's how mad they are. They don't want to listen to women, but they want to listen to a person who sex traffics people. Are you insane? That's crazy. And if you look up to a sex trafficker for advice about women, I question what kind of person you are. I assume that you're a terrible person.
I've seen Andrew a video of Andrew Tate that I will never forget as long as I live, and it was on YouTube. It was like the first time I'd ever heard of Andrew Tate, and I was like, okay, I need to see like what this guy is about. And he was talking about how men need to control their women. Off to a bad start. And then he literally mimed out putting a woman in a headlock, and he was going like this, beating their head, miming beating their head. Why the fuck would you take advice? But that's who he is. That is who he is. This is the message that he is communicating to people. So why would you take advice from that when you have two women who are both in relationships with men who are telling you, I'm telling you, Andrew, those people are not, it's not the way. It's not the way. I know it feels good to watch them because it's very validating to hear people like Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit and the whatever podcast. It's very validating to hear them say, "Hey, it's not all your fault." And actually, some of these women are sluts and whores, and they don't value you, and you need to be an alpha male, and you deserve more respect from that. I totally understand why that feels good, but the results speak for themselves. Women don't respond to that. They don't. We don't want that.
Yeah.
These are like Andrew Tate is literally a sex trafficker. He literally talked about beating women on YouTube. I watched it with my own eyes, and that was years ago. He's worse now. So like it's you gotta consider the source.
I don't agree with that. Yeah, I don't agree with Andrew Tate when he's beating him.
So why would you take anything else he has to say seriously? Why would you take anything else he has to say seriously?
I think you can. I think even bad people have some good ideas. I mean, they have some good.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Why would he have any valid opinions on how to treat women when he said what Alyssa said, and he sex traffics women and tries to tell other men how to do it as well? Why the fuck would you listen to his advice on women? He's telling you exactly what he thinks about them, exactly how he feels about them, and you think he's gonna have some kind of useful information for you, some kind of good advice? He's not. His advice is like, get money, work out, and then you'll get a woman. Like, oh my gosh, so revolutionary. Work out and have a good job. Oh my god, that's so revolutionary.
Andrew,
yeah,
do you know
get money and work out,
when
Yeah, we already know that. We already know a lot of people would do stuff like that.
Whatever, and you can get money and work out without miming beating women and saying that women need to submit to you. If the only way that you can have a successful relationship with women is by having them submit to you, then you're not a man. That doesn't make you a man. That makes you a dictator. That makes you more of a father figure to them. And to the note of there's some advice.
Huh?
Pause. To the comment about how some of Andrew Tate's advice is actually helpful. When Hitler was giving speeches to people, the words he used were hope and strength and unity. Revival. These are words that Hitler was using.
Epic.
But you would not take. But you would not take Hitler's ideology. I mean, hope you wouldn't. This is you. But we all can unanimously agree that Hitler is the scum of the earth. Like truly, when people think about who's the worst person I can think of, even in like a comical way, they think of Hitler. Like he is literally the worst human being that we can think of. I'm sure if we spend some time, we could think of more. But so I don't care that Andrew Tate is encouraging people to get their money and work out if at the same time he is encouraging what is abuse, and he is abusive himself.
Yeah, but I never heard Andrew Tate advise men to traffic women or to beat them up or whatever. I never heard of
I saw it with my own eyes. I saw it. Yeah, I saw it with my own eyes, Andrew.
You saw him
This isn't a secret.
I saw.
I mean, I'm not beat up women, but encourage them to beat women.
Yes, I told you it was a video. It was a video on YouTube. It's not there. I think he's removed from YouTube completely. But it was a video where he was talking about women need to submit. And I watched this years ago before, like it wasn't clipped. It was like literally just his video. And he had miming putting someone in a headlock and beating their head. So I was like, oh, okay, this guy's a piece of shit. I'm like, this guy is Hitler. He is a piece of shit person. I'm not taking any advice from him. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, and Andrew, he created a whole course for men and it's called the lover boy method, and it literally is about how to manipulate women. It's disgusting. I'm not like, I still have no idea how you think you could get anything good from him. And when you say something like, oh, like maybe he could tell you and work out and get money, wow, what great advice. Like, we really needed him to tell people that, like tell other people that. We didn't need him for literally anything. He has caused way more harm than he's ever caused good.
And do you truly think that a person can be considered an alpha if the only way that they keep men around, or women around, is by trapping them, is by putting them in abuse cycles, is by openly manipulating them, it's by degrading them like they do on the whatever podcast? Like, so these are not alpha men. They literally cannot be around women. They can't have women in their company without making them feel lesser than them. That's not alpha. When I think of somebody who should be considered an alpha male, it's someone who can coexist and has confidence without feeling like they have to impose that, bring everyone else down around them. That's not... If you have to bring down everyone else to feel good about yourself, then you weren't good enough to begin with. Rise to the occasion.
Sometimes, I think sometimes, people throw around this word control like it's necessarily a bad thing. I think sometimes when for example, when boyfriends say, hey, I don't want you to go out dressed like that because, it's a lot of drunk weirdos at the bar that they want to go to. And you have some girlfriends, they'll just be like, no, what you insecure? And it's like, no, I'm not insecure. It's just that I don't want guys to, either catcall and you know this for yourself that whenever women don't give into the catcalls, a lot of guys get violent. And so that drags you as a boyfriend into the violence, especially if you explicitly tell her, this is a man issue and another man issue. The one man who's catcalling and then gets violent, and then it's the boyfriend who feels like they have to. I mean, I'm okay with a person saying, like, for safety reasons, like, whatever. But you can advise someone and not force them to do something. You could say, hey, you're going to a bar where people get a little rowdy. Maybe be extra careful. If something happens, please call me right away, whatever. But to have someone, to force them to change out of their clothes, I think is not... A grown woman can make her own decisions. So I don't know that you get to have responsibility in that too. She can wear something. Yeah, but she can wear something. There's a difference between wearing something decent and then just looking like a straight up,
Yeah, but Andrew, whether that's your opinion or not, that's not even what is being talked about though with these influencers. That's they might mention that, but don't you think it's a little concerning that the control we're talking about is manipulating women into doing sex work for you and then taking their money?
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that. That's trafficking.
Why are you taking advice from a sex trafficker? Why are you taking advice from a sex trafficker? That's my question. Why should anybody take advice from a sex trafficker?
Wasn't he acquitted of sex trafficking? I mean, wasn't he found not guilty?
Actually, Donald Trump wanted to bring him back here before he went to court, I'm pretty sure. Because, our president...
Yeah, but he was held in a Romanian prison for... Yeah, he was held in a Romanian prison for almost forever, like a couple of years and stuff. They took most of his stuff, and then they had nothing on him. That's why they let him go.
We know for a fact it is on video of him explaining how to sex traffic women. He literally gives you a play-by-play, and manipulating women into doing sex work and then taking their money is sex trafficking. Do we agree on that, or do you not think that's sex trafficking?
I mean, if he's manipulating women into, he's like, hey, come do this, come do X, Y, and Z for me, and wasn't they saying that he was telling them to hey, we're gonna get married, we're gonna be in a relationship, just come with me to Romania, and then
he was manipulating them. He was manipulating them. There's someone in the chat, Monkey a Typewriter, who is a Chewed Gum regular. I love him very much. Hi, Monkey. And he put this very well. He said, Andrew thinks men are the problem, but women have to be the solution. That's what it feels like. It feels like you're identifying all of these issues with men and then saying that women have to solve them.
Well, boyfriends don't have no control over the other men that's going on out here. Like if my girl, only thing I can do is talk to my girl. Like if I can't go out and go to the dudes at the bar and say, all right, boys, none of y'all better not do X, Y, and Z to my girlfriend or whatever. They all probably gonna laugh at me or try to attack me. You know what I'm saying? Most dudes, they ain't gonna, like no dude is going, most dudes ain't gonna listen to that. The only person I can convince
your options. Yeah, but your options are if you really so strongly that your partner is in danger, why wouldn't you go out there and want to protect her? Is that not the alpha male thing to do? That's the other thing about all the alpha male shit. It feels like it's more to impress other guys than it is to impress girls. Because like if I were out, like who cares if that guy is laughing at you? You're the one who's getting pussy later that night. So who cares? If the other guy at the bar, who was going to be an asshole, by the way, who was going to put your girlfriend in danger, who gives a fuck what he thinks? Why do you care?
Well, it's not just about laughing. It's about the actual, threat of violence. Have you ever been out with your girlfriends?
Yes.
Yep.
Do crazy dudes try to approach you? Like, crazy guys, they try to hit on you or whatever,
crazy,
or they
honestly.
catcall you?
What is crazy? What are we talking about? Some guy just saying
where do y'all live? Where do y'all live at again?
I don't say where I live.
Like
I'm in New York.
Not your address, but yeah.
I'm in New York, Andrew, and I went to college and lived in New York City for 11 years.
And got to New York, never tried to, be derogatory towards you or whatever. They never, try to did that stuff.
Of course they did. Of course they did. And on top of that, it didn't matter what I was wearing. There would be times where I'd be in leggings and a sweatshirt and I still would get the same type of shit said to me.
Yeah.
The day that I was sexually assaulted, I was wearing literally sweatpants. So it doesn't really matter. And I also would like to say, the day I was sexually assaulted, there was another man in the apartment who did nothing. Anytime I've been catcalled on the street, there have been men everywhere that did nothing. So why, circling back to the beginning of the conversation, because we've gone really far from where we started, and now we've been on the call for a little while, so I want to make sure we get to some other calls too. And I want to just So when we're talking about people who are claiming they are involuntarily celibate, there's a whole culture of women now who are voluntarily celibate because they cannot take it any longer. They cannot take the misogyny. It's not worth it to them to deal with it anymore. And what they've done instead is start book clubs. They start gardens. They move to the middle of the fucking woods and have a really great time. They have pets, the thing about the cat lady, and they find happiness elsewhere. Do they what?
Do they deal with the bear in the woods?
Oh, brother. I'm not getting into the bear, Andrew. That's ridiculous. You're not fighting. Andrew, you didn't want to go to a bar and stand up to other guys. I don't believe that you're going to fight the bear. You know what I'm saying? But okay. So these are women who have looked at the situation. They have opted out of wanting to find a male partner because it's not worth it to them anymore. And they found happiness elsewhere. Guess what they aren't doing? Mass shootings. Guess what they aren't doing? Beating the shit out of women or men. That's not how they've handled it. How they've handled it is, I'm going to find happiness elsewhere. I'm going to be a cat lady, or I'm going to move out to the woods. I'm going to take up some hobbies. I'm going to have really fulfilling relationships with my girlfriends and call it a day. this is like now it's become like a stereotype of women now. So why is it that for men who are not having sex, they have to make it everybody else's fucking problem, and now we all need to change our behavior to compensate for how they are not getting laid? Why is it that the people who are not getting laid can't just go to therapy? Or worst case scenario, get a fucking facial. Figure it out. We figured it out. We have figured it out. We figured out finding community. We figured out finding community with each other. We figured out how to make how we want to like make ourselves look our best and feel our best. We even figured out how to live without men because we don't want to do it anymore. So like at the end of the day, when I have these conversations, like I just my answer is always like, figure it out. Like I'm tired of fixing this for men. We are literally telling you what we are looking for. We're telling you what we're looking for, and you're going, but on the Whatever podcast, but on the Fresh and Fit podcast, and what Andrew Tate says, those are all men. I am a woman, and I'm telling you what I'm looking for. Not only am I a woman, I also am a sex and relationship coach. I'm a professional sex educator. I spend my entire life educating people on how to have great sex, great relationships, great intimacy. I am qualified to have this conversation with you, and I am telling you that the things that they are saying on those podcasts is dangerous, and it's creating a thought pattern in your head where you think that women owe you something. We don't owe you anything. So go to therapy, get hobbies, find community, join a rec sport, like make your life full. And I promise you, partnership will come. It will. It just will. When you do those things, you make yourself a magnetic person. People want to be around you. Make your life full. That's my advice to you.
Okay, I know you got to get on to some other callers. I'm going to say this one final thing before I go. I think that therapy is a complete joke. I mean, that's why guys don't go. You have all these... There's nothing that a therapist can tell you that...
Andrew, Andrew, if therapy has been implemented and studied for decades to be helpful, it continues to be studied. We're constantly providing new methods. Why would you think that therapy doesn't work? Come on, Andrew. I don't even think you believe that. I think you heard that on one of those heard that on one of those fuck-ass podcasts. And now you're regurgitating it here. Be so serious.
No,
really?
That's women chucking hundreds of dollars at therapists. Men don't do that. You know what we do? We get on Call of Duty
so
we shoot each other.
No. What? Exactly. And then you go on forums and you talk about how you're fucking incels, and all of these women are happy and enjoying their lives. Guess why? Because they went to fucking therapy. Because they went to therapy, they don't have to join incel forums. Because they went to therapy, they don't have to shoot at their fucking friends in a video game. Andrew, as adults, grow up. Oh my God.
Andrew, they're also just literally shooting up people in real life. Like, most of violent crime is done by men. So don't you think maybe
98%.
You could take advice from people who aren't doing those things? Or like, are you maybe thinking to yourself,
men only do violent crime because women don't have the physical force and strength to do it. That's why they don't do it.
So men are going into schools and shooting up the schools because women aren't strong enough to do it. What the fuck are you talking about, Andrew? Truly, you are better than this, because you're having a nice conversation. You're not getting heated. You're hearing the words that I'm saying. You are better than this, Andrew. Truly. And I would not waste my time for 40 minutes with a person that I did not think was worth the time. I think you are worth this time, but I think you also need to listen to this conversation again, because truly I believe you're better than this. I cannot believe you said that. So I appreciate you calling. I appreciate you calling.
All right,
I appreciate you having a chill conversation. I think we get to let you go because we have other calls that we want to get to. Please listen back to this call.
Yes, ma'am.
Truly, I would really like if you did. Okay.
All right, okay. I'll listen back. Have a good day.
Okay, bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Anyway.
Oh
That I
My
didn't.
goodness
So
gracious.
Andrew has called in multiple times. I did not know, like, because the other times he was way like, yeah, he said some things that were like, misogynistic, but I did not think he was like that deep into the like incel content. I genuinely was kind of shocked that when he started saying that at the beginning of the call.
That's I worry about people like that more than anyone else, because if you want to be upset with feeling like, here's the thing, most of my clients are men, and they are looking for partnership and having a really hard time. And I tell them all the time, when I talk about the people who are like, incel adjacent or part of the like male loneliness epidemic, I am not talking about you, because you showed up here. You reached out to me. You said something I'm doing is not working. So I want to like figure out a different way. They took responsibility. So to the whole incel culture is shirking all of the responsibility, placing it on everyone else, and it's lazy and it's bullshit. It is what it is. And I also can't understand how you're like, women go to therapy and they're wasting all of their money, but the women are fine. The women are fine. They're not shooting up schools. 98% of violent crimes is men committing them. We're fine.
Yeah.
But we're wasting the money on therapy? Like, how do you not hear it? How do you not hear it? Ugh.
Yeah, and it's just funny because, like, towards the end, he basically was like, yeah, men are the problem because women can't go out or like however they want or whatever. I'm like, okay, so it's not the women then, it's the men. Like, I don't know. It's just
still
so
the men.
It makes me sad that people can't see the very obvious grift from red pill content creators, because like, how many men do you see that are in like a long-term happy relationship watching that shit? None of them. Literally none of them. It's like, that's not
None
who's
of
watching
them.
that. And it's like, that should give you a sign like of like what the problem is.
Right. And it's just, come on. I am so tired of hearing that over and over again, that if a man is bald, if a man is fat, if a man doesn't make enough money. Okay, if you really want to go with that line, which I don't believe that, by the way. I don't believe that that's the case.
Right.
I don't believe that women write off all men for those reasons. Hard stop, don't believe it. If you really do want to go down that path, though, okay, get a better job. Okay, go to the gym.
Right.
Okay, get hair plugs. I promise you, after you do all of those things, you will be in the same exact situation, and you will not have any more women around you, because you didn't fix the actual problem, which is here and here. Sorry.
Right. But they won't believe that because the red pillars are saying something different. It's sad, but yeah, it's typically like they're insufferable and really mean people. So yeah, you're not really gonna end up in a relationship if you're that kind of personality blaming all of your hardships on women. It's just not gonna happen. It doesn't matter how attractive you are.
No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. I'm trying to think of like a good example of a person who like we know sucks but is really attractive and as a result is still single. I mean, I'm sure there are
like
them, but I can't think of any.
I feel like when men are super conventionally attractive and also assholes, sure, they sleep around, but I've never seen them like, because I've known a couple of people like that, like from high school or whatever. They never have like successful long-term relationships. So it's like, if you just want to go for having sex, sure, go ahead and do that. But I hope you're not looking for like anything else. I'm not exactly sure what Andrew would like want, but yeah, it's not going to be like you're going to come out with a girlfriend or something.
That's so crazy. I think a lot about the like looks stuff, and I've said this so many times, like we all get old and ugly. Like at some point all of us will get old, we'll all get wrinkles, and we're not going to look the same and whatever. So like why you should be like attracted to your partner, but it's to prioritize that over everything else would be foolish. And I think that most people know that.
Yeah, and I mean, he also I think it's interesting that he makes it seem like women are the ones like so obsessed with looks when we know it's the other way around. And on top of that, he made a comment which is a very popular talking point with red pillars, which is like, oh, after 30, 31, like these women are like useless. It's like that just tells me everything I need to know, like where that thought pattern is going. So yeah, it's rough.
Right. It's so crazy. Oh my god. Okay. Well, we have another call in the queue who's been very patiently waiting. This is Cal, pronouns he, him, calling from, is IN Indiana?
Yes.
I guess so.
I think so.
Yes? Okay, I'm so bad
yeah.
at things like that.
Hi,
Cal. How are you? Thank you for being so patient.
Hi. I'm good. I had to pop a few Tylenol just after listening to Andrew, but it's all good. I recently found you guys, Alyssa and Taylor. You guys are just so awesome. I enjoy the work that you do. So thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you. Thanks for calling. What did you want to talk about? This is from the little like preview. This looks really interesting.
Yeah, so I recently started seeing this guy, and this is one of my first real relationships. And we live in a pretty red state in the Midwest, and it's a pretty conservative area. And when we first started dating, we were both very clear, like we weren't religious, and we were both. I mean, I guess him being gay, I thought he would be more liberal leaning. Just that's common sense to me, but apparently it's not in Indiana. But I just, after being with him for a while, we've been together for about 4 months, but after a while, like I've started noticing a few things, like when he told me he wasn't religious, I noticed like in his car he had a cross, which that was like a whole contradiction to me. It was very strange. And I grew up in evangelical Christianity, so like I know I'm very disillusioned by it now. So like I've kind of done the whole song and dance and stuff, and like whenever we speak about it, or if because like I guess I have a cynical demeanor, and I will sometimes say something like a remark or something. He just gets very tense about it, and it's something we've talked about. And I've asked him whether or not, like, does me being not religious make you uncomfortable? And there's also been times, like, after we were intimate where he says, like, he needs to pray. And that just makes me not want to do that with him, because it's like, I don't want you to feel like you're having to, like, atone for something that I'm thinking is awesome and loving and fun. So I just wanted to know what you guys think I should do.
Alyssa, I feel like you're better at this than me, but I will say I've seen lately, for some reason, I've seen a real, I don't know if it's an actual rise or just on social media, a lot of gay Republicans, which is very interesting to me because of just like, you know, certain Republicans wanting to like overturn same-sex marriage and stuff. So it's kind of wild to see a lot of them online. But yeah, go ahead, Alyssa.
I think this is time. Oh, I punched my for very like open, clearing conversation, and I think going into that conversation, it would be helpful for you to think about, okay, like what are things ideology-wise that are like an absolute, like these are deal breakers. If he believes this, then this is a wrap. I think it would be helpful to make that little list. And then I think that the conversation you get to have with him is, hey, when going into this relationship, I felt like we were super aligned, and now I'm starting to feel like some of that is shifting. So I just want to clarify where we stand on some things that are really important to me. And you can verbalize it in this way, or maybe it's just in the tone. But if you say, I'm coming to this conversation with like true care for you and this relationship, I just want to make sure that we are still a good fit for each other. And then like if he says something crazy, you can judge him when you leave that conversation. But it's better to not show up into that conversation with judgment, because you want him to be honest, and he won't be if he's feeling very judged. So I think having that conversation and knowing ahead of time what you're willing to be okay with and what's definitely a no-go is going to be helpful, and just see how the conversation goes. I think that's really going to be the only answer for you, because you don't want to get like 4 months is a significant chunk of the year, but you don't want to get like, this literally happened to me, Cal. I was dating someone for a year and a half, and he lied to me about being a Trump supporter. And I didn't notice that anytime I would talk about anything like socially, like things that are like, what's it called? Civil rights related things or political things, I thought he was just like not political at all. But it turns out that he just didn't want to say anything because he voted for Trump. And when I found out, we had been dating for like a year and a half, and I immediately was like, I felt so betrayed, and I broke up with him immediately. And he was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah, are you joking? Of course I'm serious. Are you serious? Oh my God." Crazy. Anyway, all that to say, 4 months is a long time, but any longer is going to be worse. You're better off just like getting it all on the table now, I think.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It's kind of hard because it kind of feels, because like I am so socially conscious, and I love my Democratic community so much. And like I hate feeling like I'm kind of like betraying them by giving this person the time of day. But I mean, like I've never seen him act in like an inappropriate way. He treats me very well, and so I think having a conversation like that is a good idea. It's just approaching that, but it's a tricky situation. But thank you guys.
It is. And this is exactly, Cal, the situation that I had, where the person I was dating was super nice to me, had friends who were gay, and was great. Like there was nothing that he was doing day to day that would have made me think that he had all these like other beliefs. So it was really confusing later when he shared this with me, and I was like, "Oh, what?" So it's worth the conversation. It really is, especially if it's important to you in like a day to day, and especially nowadays. I wouldn't mess with it.
Yeah, it's
I
like
also wanted to say,
it's like a danger zone. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to say, like, I know it can probably be really, really hard living in a red state, like finding, the type of people you want to be around, other people you want to date. That's like a whole other struggle in itself, which like one of my best friends lives in your state and she struggles. So I wouldn't feel bad, like, that you end up in those situations sometimes, because I'm sure it's really hard. And I think sometimes being like a, what do they call it, blue dot in a red state can get really lonely sometimes.
Yeah. I definitely think talking to him is a good idea. Because I really do think like he comes from a very waspy family, and like it was almost like the alarm bells started ringing pretty quickly. I started becoming disillusioned. So like I think it's time for like, I mean, ironically, I'm an atheist, but it's time for a come to Jesus moment with him. To like talk about where we stand about just everything.
Yeah, and I think it's also it is also like partially in to sort of like care for him in this situation too, because I'm sure he doesn't want to be with someone who's like super unaligned, or maybe he doesn't care, but I think you're also doing the kind thing for him too. So you're doing the kind thing for both of you, to be very clear. And and maybe call back and let us know how it goes.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much. I just want you guys to keep doing everything you're doing. I've only started watching you guys 2 weeks ago, but I listen to you guys all the time at work. You guys are awesome.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry on behalf of all of the crazy callers that you hear.
Oh, geez. I mean, some of them, I still can't believe that guy he called you a bitch and then said a cockroach, like, jumped out at him or something. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe
What?
that was
Crazy. Yeah. It was an old caller. He, at the end of the call, he called me and Promise bitches, and then he called again another time, and he was like, I just wanted to apologize because the last time I called, I said bitch, and actually it was because there was a cockroach in the room. And we were like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
Whatever
Well,
you
you guys
need.
have a great one. Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks,
Thanks
Cal.
for
Have a good
calling.
night. Okay, love Cal. I hope that he has
Yeah,
a
that
really
was a
good
nice
clearing
one.
conversation. Yeah. Okay. We had a kind of, it was so funny because even though we didn't have like full lines the entire show, boy did we have a crazy call in the middle of it.
Yeah, we really did.
Crazy. All right, let's get to some super chats. So if you want to send in super chats, now is the time. Okay, $5 from Life is Literary. Hey, Alyssa, feeling nervous to pursue being an ASEC certified sexuality educator as a man. Any advice on this for men? I can try to call in someday. Definitely call in. And I mean, you're going to be fine. It's going to be totally fine. I would say also look at, consider like what you want your career to look like. Are you going to try and work in a school? Are you going to try and create education programs? You know, outside of a school environment. Look at your state and what they require for doing this kind of work too. But it would actually be amazing if we could get more men doing this kind of work, because that's a group of people who's really struggling, obviously, given our call today with Andrew, really struggling with intimacy. And so I think it would be awesome if you were wanting to be a sexuality educator. And it's so much fun when your like schoolwork is reading a paper on porn. It's like, this is great. I love it. It's great. And thank you for the super chat.
$4.99 from Hannah Hodgins. Hi, Alyssa and Taylor. Always enjoyed chewed gum. Keep rocking it, girlies. Thanks, Hannah.
Hey, Hannah. $5 from Sam, aka Shmooly. I think on the first episode of Chewed Gum, Alyssa, you mentioned something about sitting while peeing is good for my prostate. Is that accurate, and how? So sitting while peeing is better for your pelvic floor, for women's pelvic floor. I don't remember now if that's true for men as well. I don't know. I'll have to do some thinking about that for the prostate specifically, because men's bodies are obviously like designed a little different when it comes to standing while you pee. But the one thing I can tell you for a fact is that sitting while peeing, even when girls, when you go to the bathroom and it's a public restroom, and I know you feel grossed out by the seat, lay down the toilet paper and put your ass on the seat. You will not get an ass disease, but you will wreck your pelvic floor by hovering over the seat. And then you're going to be really sorry. If you decide to have children, your pelvic floor you're going to be peeing your pants all the time. And if that's out of the cards for you, don't worry. When you get older and you start to lose muscle mass, your pelvic floor, you're going to be peeing yourself as an elderly person too. Sit down on the fucking seat. You won't get an ass disease. I'll check on the prostate though, because I actually don't remember. But thank you for the super chat.
The things I find out here.
Listen.
$5 from Joshua Everett. On today's episode of Andrew Doesn't Understand X. True. He really likes calling in.
Yeah, so apparently he's been calling in a lot recently. Is that what's been happening?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure he's the same person who gave the like incest scenario like at least 2 times so far. I could be wrong, but I'm like 99% positive. So good times.
Frightening. $4.99 from Hannah Hodgins. Andrew. Oi. That's all I can say. Listen, I think we're all on that page. We're all on that page, Hannah.
$10 from the atheist mechanic. Andrew, being a shallow moron is not a virtue. Do and be better. Yeah, I just hope he stops watching that stuff. It's like poisonous, I swear.
Yeah, and like if you no longer want to be a part of like this incel community, then stop engaging with their content.
Right.
Stop
it seemed like he
engaging
was
with
like
it.
more concerned about like defending them, and I'm just like, don't defend them, please. Please
Don't defend them. Like, look at the people that you actually admire that have healthy and happy relationships.
Right.
Look at the content they're creating. Like, even there's a guy, his name's Jay Shetty. I don't like love everything he does. I think he's like kind of a grifter, but he has a podcast and it's lovely, and he has a wife and he has kids, and he's very he's very like I don't want to say emotional because it's not that, but he's like very in touch with his emotions. He's built a beautiful life for himself. He has a very successful business. Follow him.
Right.
Follow him.
Yeah. Right, because like is the end result sex trafficking people, or is it having a wife? That'll determine who you listen to.
Right. Consider the source. Jeez Louise. $5 from Life is Literary. Alyssa lists dozens of things women have to do almost daily due to societal pressures. Andrew, some men have a receding jawline.
And what is a receding jawline? How does it recede? Like over time, their jaw recedes?
There's
or is
a
it
thing,
just like...
and I've seen it before.
Sorry, go ahead.
I actually dated someone who had like this sort of thing, and it has to do with like orthodontic work a lot of the time, and also if you open your mouth while you're sleeping, like if you mouth breathe while you sleep, but like this part of your jaw will sort of like slope back. Like it's not like your jaw is supposed to be sort of like here, and it's sort of like back, and it happens to people. Yeah. You also can you can get that fixed if you really want to.
Yeah, and it's also just like they're obsessed with the have you seen the picture they go for, like the mega Chad picture where they're like, this is the ideal male form, and he's like basically like the Crimson Chin from Fairly Odd Parents, if you remember.
Oh, I remember. It's crazy. Yeah, just grow a beard.
Right. No, that fixes a lot of problems for real. I think so.
It fixes so much. Beards are like the male makeup. It just puts like a nice filter on everything.
No, they are. For real. I don't know if this is me, but $4.99 from Hannah Hodgins. Andrew, seriously, I was bashed for my body back in school so bad that I developed an eating disorder back then. Sorry, that boils my blood. Yeah.
No, that was crazy.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know, like if you're, I guess, really in a cyclone of all of that content, you really do believe that men are unfairly targeted for their looks. And I never really like put it into this perspective exactly, but like women are constantly targeted for our looks. Constantly.
Yeah, it's way worse. Like
it's way worse.
And I'm sorry, I just have to put this out there. It is way more common for me to see a woman who is conventionally more attractive than her partner than the other way around. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I feel like women care way more about personality a lot of the time. So this is just like a fake problem to me that he's talking about.
Yeah, it is. Well, because it's the people who these hot girls are dating, even if they are not the Brad Pitts of the world. I need a more up to date, like standard hot guy. But even if it's like the Brad Pitts of the world, it's because their personalities are great,
right?
Because they're fun to be around. They add value to their lives.
Yeah, 100%.
Ay. Crazy. $10 from the atheist mechanic. People whom think Andrew Taint I love Andrew Tate, is a good role model, likely are not allowed around schools and are on multiple lists, none of which are good. Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed.
I agree. $10 from Insane Glory. Here's a skeptical heretic, not skeptical heretic. Why do I always do this? Super chat. I am so used to seeing that on TikTok. Oh my god, sorry. I'm not trying to make it all about
That's
me, guys.
so
I
funny.
swear. Okay, here's a super chat for Amargan and who is, I don't know if I know how to pronounce that name.
Calasia.
Calasia.
Wait, say it again?
I see them in the chat all the time.
Okay.
Calasia.
Okay. Best wishes. It's going to suck not being able to interact with them several times a week, as we have gotten used to. Place won't be the same without both of you. Oh.
Yeah, wait, I didn't know that Calasia was leaving too. What? Oh, why are you guys leaving us? I'm sad. And Amargan, I'll take this opportunity to say I love Amargan so much. I'm so grateful for, like, truly, he made my experience coming onto the line, which feels really scary the first, like, you know, however, like, for months it felt scary, and you made my experience so much easier, and it was so nice to have, like, I would say a friendly face, but a friendly voice on the other side of this always, and so I'm so grateful for you, and we'll be in touch, so this is not the end of our friendship, but we will miss you a lot here, and I will always say cigarettes and blindfolds whenever we start now, because that always cracks me up.
In his memory.
Yeah.
$4.99 from West the Ruck Manite. I can't read, it's fine. If you could teach a co-ed teen Sunday class, kids raised in church, for a few months, what would you teach them?
Oh. If you could teach a co-ed teen Sunday, like,
probably just empathy. I would like really emphasize that. I feel like that'd be safe, and I feel like that, like, there's nothing like bad they could take from that. So that's probably, I wouldn't like get in there and be like, hey, this is fake, your church is fake, like what they teach is fake. I'm not gonna say that, but I'd probably emphasize the, like, empathy in general.
Yeah, I agree. I think that that's the right way to go. Empathy and vulnerability will lead to a good result overall. Like, those are good standard things.
Mm-hmm.
$5 from Space Barbarian. Andrew, it's not us, it's you. Right. When has that ever led to a good result? Like, when has that ever worked?
It doesn't. $10 from the Atheist Mechanic. I feel like we all need therapy session after Andrew calls in. I am so sad that he thinks like therapy is just not a real thing that helps people. That's so sad. I was like speechless when he said that. I was like, damn, that's tragic.
That was crazy. And it was like at the end, he was like, and one more thing, therapy's not real. I'm like, oh.
You're for real. Like, how can you leave us with that? And also, why is it always people who need therapy the most that, like, say it's not a thing? It's so tragic.
Right. That was that's when I really kind of, like, lost my marbles a little bit. And that's when I got loud. Because I was like, that can't be serious. I cannot be serious. God. $10 from Spooky Metalhead. Holy shit, that Andrew call. I felt like I needed to pay you for having to go through that. Most incels really do just need therapy. I'm a guy, and going to therapy absolutely changed my life. Yeah, therapy changes everyone's lives. I think it's like, it's almost like it's arrogant to think that you don't need the perspective of another person who is trained in caring for you. As like a sounding board. Like, why would you think that you don't need you have nothing to fix? Everything's perfect. Okay.
Right. And I think a lot of these people come from, like, or have religion in their lives, so they just think a lot of these people, like, a lot of people for some reason think like if you're a Christian or whatever, you don't need therapy because if you're close enough with God, all your mental health issues will go away, which we know isn't true. But it's unfortunate.
Do you know something? Okay, I hope none of my family members listen to this, but my dad said something to that effect to me once. Because my dad, like all dads, I think, has some shit. Like everyone has some shit. And I was like, I think you would really benefit from being in therapy. He's not that religious. I think he was mostly like trying to like be annoying, but I was like, I think you would really benefit from it. It's not that scary. It's like not that big of a deal. And I think you should try it. And he's like, I don't need therapy. I have Jesus. I was like, how's that working out for you?
No, that's so common. And hopefully my family doesn't watch this either, but I told people close to me that I was going to therapy. This was years and years and years ago. And they were like, all you have to do is go get a mentor from like the church. And then I was like, no. And then number two, they were like, oh, let's go to this pastor for counseling. And I was like, does he have a degree? No. He had a degree in like science or like some random science, like chemistry or something. And I'm like, do you guys realize that your brain and emotions and stuff are important, and you can't just let anyone go in there willy nilly and like who's not qualified and just like fuck shit up. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Letting somebody just poke around in there with like no training. No, not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me.
$10 from Randy Clark. Hey, Andrew, 59-year-old cis guy here. Take some advice from an older man. Therapy saved my life, helped me get and stay sober, made me a more honest, open, and happier person. Yes, thank you. Exactly.
Yeah, Randy. Whoop, whoop. That's awesome.
We love to see
Proud
it.
of you. Yeah, that's awesome. $5 from Bobby Keniston. A puppy pad my dog used left a mark in the shape of a heart. I know he can't make shapes with his pee, so it was probably God. Have to reconstruct.
That definitely was God.
Really
He's
funny.
Speaking to you.
You're right. Through your dog's butthole. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's real. I love that, Bobby. Thank you. Oh my goodness.
$5 from the atheist mechanic. After all of this today, I think I can say with confidence that Monad does not include Andrew.
I don't know if I remember what Monad
maybe
is
not.
now.
Erica explained it to me, or no, maybe it wasn't Erica. Who was it? I think it was actually Arden. I don't know, but
so a few weeks or a month ago, Forrest and Erica did a marathon. You know, it was about an 8-hour show. The last call they got, this guy went off on them about the monad, and it was apparently just the wildest call.
Sounds
well.
That
Andrew's
sounds
not
right.
a part of the monad. Sorry,
Certainly
Andrew.
not.
You can look up monad on Google, but it's not going to tell you what this guy was talking about.
Oh, Jesus God. Okay. Okay. I want to look it up, actually. Monad. It's crazy. Thank you, atheist mechanic. $5 from Alyssa Silverbow. Andrew's call was painful, but if people really do have high value, then you too have the highest value for handling this call so well. Hashtag Happy Tuesday. Aw, thanks. That's really nice. Thanks,
that is really nice. $5 for Monkey at Typewriter. I got so much love for you gals and promise, of course. I wish men were less laser focused on solving men's problems by fixing women's behaviors. FML. Yeah. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, thank you, Monkey.
I wish that too.
I agree. Yeah, unfortunately. Crazy. It's crazy. $10 from Mr. Boricua 10. That's so funny. I was literally, as we were going through Super Chats, I was like, where is he? Usually he pops up. I missed it. I missed you. So I'm glad. Thank you. Hi. Andrew, please get out of those black-pilled holes. They're bad for you. Therapy works. Also, good passages at Amargan and Calicia. I hope I'm saying that right. 7, 8, 9. Have a ball. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Boricua. Always nice to see your name pop up.
$5 from Joshua Everett. I had a guy respond to me with a 3-paragraph post about how we need to start building forced breeding. Oh my gosh, forced breeding programs for humans. It was turbo gross. Oh my gosh, he probably just like watched Handmaid's Tale and was like, "Oh my gosh, that's such a good idea."
Forced breeding? Holy shit, dude. That's crazy.
I know it's not funny, but it's like he's a comic book villain. Like when people say stuff like that, I'm like, you're not real. Like you're trying to be a comic book villain because this is so unserious. Like, why are you so evil?
Truly. Oh my god, that's crazy. $9.99 from Lena. I'm a trans person who doesn't pass and isn't looking for a relationship. I'm having. I'm just gonna say meep and then figure out what it means after. I meep having to tell people I'm not interested. Personality is huge for men and women. Therapy is huge. Confidence is huge. Period. Yes.
Preach it.
Exactly, Lena. Agreed.
$5 from Lone Drow. I lost it when I heard "Let's face it, Andrew, you aren't gonna fight the bear." Love the show and the line.
Yeah, he had no response for that. I was like, you weren't gonna talk to a guy at the bar because you were scared he was gonna make fun of you. You think I think that you're gonna fight a fucking bear?
Exactly.
Be so serious.
Good stuff.
Crazy. God. It's crazy. Crazy. 10 pounds from the fuzzy logic. Andrew, women used to say the same things to me about being attractive. I was really bitter about it until I realized they were talking about demeanor, grooming. Oh, grooming. I was reading that as two separate words and I was like, grooming, what is that? and clothes, not weight and height. Yeah, I think that helps too. I think sometimes it's even like the like grooming stuff and the clothes, that stuff. It's mostly like it shows that you give a crap about.
Yeah,
it's sort of like when they say yeah, it's like when they say when you're really depressed, if you make your bed, it does actually make you feel better. It sort of feels like that. It's like if you are having a hard time dating, but you also are dressing like a slob kebab, then like why would anyone look at you and be like, that's a person who will be fun to be around? I don't know.
Right. Yeah, that's a good comparison with the making the bed thing. I agree.
Yeah. But demeanor is most important always. Anyway, this was an eventful show.
Yes, it was.
Thank you again. Thank you again to Amargan. We really appreciate you and we're going to miss you so much. Don't be a stranger. And who said good passages? I like good passages. Good passages. Same with Calicia as well. Thank you so much for being so wonderful in the chats and for moderating for us all the time. Truly, you guys mean so much to this whole community and I'm so grateful. So thank you so much. And
yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you to our mods, our screeners, all of our people.
And Dragon. I remembered this time.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Thank you guys. That Andrew called.